You are frustrated because it hasn't happened yet. You are looking at your life, comparing it to everybody else's, wondering what's taking so long. You think maybe you messed up somewhere, or maybe you are just not enough. But let me tell you, some blessings are too heavy to be rushed. You can't microwave destiny. It has to be cooked slowly, over time, with pressure and patience. God doesn't operate on your urgency. He moves on his wisdom. There are things you are praying for that he already has on the calendar, but just not the date you expected. You think you are behind, but really you are right on track. What's scheduled for you can't be stolen, can't be stopped, can't be missed. You don't need to beg for what's already yours. You wouldn't yell at a seed for not blooming the next day after you planted it. You'd water it, wait, and trust the process. The same goes for your life. You might not see what's happening underneath, but roots are growing. Foundations are being built where nobody can see. And when it finally breaks through the surface, it'll be undeniable. Every time you try to rush something, you end up getting a version of it that's incomplete. That rushed relationship, that rushed opportunity, that rushed move, it didn't last because it wasn't ready. And neither were you. God knows the version of you that can carry the weight of what's coming. He won't give you more than you can sustain. You are praying for things he's already promised, but you are not yet prepared to protect them. The right thing at the wrong time becomes a burden. So sometimes God waits, not because he's punishing you, but because he's protecting what he plans to bless you with. He loves you too much to give it to you before you are ready to hold it. What if the delay you hate is the setup you need? What if the extra time is so God can remove the people who would have drained your blessing dry? What if the quiet season is where he's building your discernment, your character, your confidence? That kind of growth takes time. That kind of elevation isn't done in a rush. So stop looking at everyone else's pace. Stop measuring your progress by their timeline. Your appointment with favor hasn't been canceled. It's just on a clock you don't control. Rest in that. Stop forcing what God has already scheduled. Everybody wants the stage, but nobody wants to struggle. Everybody wants to be seen, but not everybody wants to be sharpened. And the truth is, God sharpens you in the dark. He develops you in the quiet. He builds your backbone when nobody's cheering, nobody's clapping, and nobody's watching. When you are in that dark place emotionally, mentally, spiritually, it doesn't mean God has forgotten you. It means he's forming you. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Roots grow in darkness. Babies develop in the womb, not the spotlight. God uses that hidden space to make sure your strength matches your spotlight. You keep asking why it's taking so long, why nobody sees your work, why your name isn't being called. But God isn't trying to expose you yet. He's trying to whip you. You don't build character on a stage. You build it in the grind. You build it when you are overlooked, when you are underestimated, when you are doubted. That quiet season teaches you how to rely on him. You ain't got no audience, so you learn to talk to him. You ain't got no claps, so you learn to encourage yourself. You ain't got no spotlight, so you stop performing and start becoming. That's where real transformation takes place, not for likes, not for applause, but for purpose. There's power in being hidden. Some of the greatest work God does in your life happens when you feel like you are in the background, when you feel like everybody else is moving forward but you. Don't despise that. Embrace it. Because God only hides what's valuable. He only conceals what's precious. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. When the lights come on, it's too late to build your integrity. That's why he builds it now, when nobody's looking, when it's just you and him. So when you do step into the moment, you are not shaken by applause or broken by criticism. You are rooted, you are ready, and you can hold it without folding under pressure. You keep begging to be seen, but if you knew the weight of what comes with being seen, you'd be grateful for the hidden season. Let God finish what he's building in you before he presents you. Trust the dark. Trust the silence. Trust that preparation still progress. You are looking at your life thinking something must go wrong, but nothing went wrong. The timing is not off. The delay is not random. It's calculated. It's surgical. God doesn't delay just to delay. He delays to develop. He delays aligning. He delays because he sees what you can't see yet. While you are busy wondering why it hasn't happened, he's busy building the bridge to get you there. Sometimes the delay isn't about you at all. It's about the people connected to your destiny. Maybe the person you're supposed to partner with is still growing. Maybe the person you're going to bless is still learning. Maybe the place you are supposed to walk into isn't ready for you yet. The promise is real, but it involves more than just your timeline. So God's working all the angles at once. You want it now because you feel ready, but readiness on your level doesn't mean readiness on every level. God sees the full equation. He knows who needs to exit your life before he introduces what's next. He knows which enemies still need to expose themselves before he elevates you. You are thinking that delay means denial. But in truth, delay means preparation for divine timing. That job you didn't get, that relationship that didn't work, that door that wouldn't open, you think it was a coincidence. That was God removing friction from your future. You don't even know what he saved you from. You saw a lost opportunity. He saw a trap. He saw stress. He saw compromise. That no was a strategy in disguise. If God gave you what you wanted right when you asked, you settle for something way beneath your calling. He waits until the stage is set just right. The delay is not to test your patience, it's to test your perspective. Can you see with faith instead of fear? Can you trust a plan you didn't write? Can you believe it's still on the way even when everything says otherwise? You don't have to understand the delay to walk through it. You don't need full clarity to have full trust. The longer it takes, the more powerful the impact. The more time it takes, the more intentional the reward. Every day you wait, God is putting something in place. You may not see it, but you'll feel it when it arrives. You'll look back and realize the delay didn't waste your time, it protected your future. So don't confuse silence with abandonment. Don't mistake waiting for rejection. God's timing is like chess, not checkers. Every move is intentional. Every delay is positioning. Every pause is a purpose. You told yourself by 25 you'd be set. You told yourself by 30 you'd be thriving. And now you are staring at your life wondering where you went wrong. But you didn't go wrong, you just made the mistake of thinking your watch was more accurate than God's will. Your timeline is based on pressure. His is based on purpose. The world loves to push a schedule. They say, by this age, do this. By that age, do that. But that pressure can lead to panic. That pressure can make you force things that aren't meant for you. It can make you marry too soon, settle too early, quit too fast. God never told you to rush, people did. And now you are trying to meet expectations that don't even belong to you. God doesn't work inside your calendar. He created time, but he's not confined to it. He ain't worried about your age. He's focused on your assignment. Some people win early but burn out fast. Others show up late but last longer. It's not about speed, it's about sustainability. And the only way to sustain what you are praying for is to receive it in God's time. You don't want a blessing that breaks you. You don't want a door that drains you. You want the right thing at the right time with the right strength to carry it. That means you might have to wait. That means your timeline has to take a back seat. That means your expectations have to bow to God's vision. And that's okay. Because what's coming is worth the wait. What's being built is bigger than your schedule. It's not just about making you happy, it's about making you holy, strong, steady, wise. You are not waiting because you are forgotten. You are waiting because you are being refined. And refined things shine longer than rushed ones. God doesn't forget his promises. He fulfills them on time, not your time. His. So every time you check the clock, check your faith too. Are you trusting the schedule or the source? Are you running out of time, or are you being right on time for a different kind of blessing? One that doesn't expire. One that doesn't collapse. So stop panicking about the years. Stop comparing your age to your achievements. The clock in heaven isn't ticking like the one in your head. You are not late, you are in process. You are not behind, you are being positioned. The promise still stands. It's the silence that gets you. You pray and nothing happens. You work and nothing moves. You believe and still feel stuck. That quiet can mess with your head, but that's where faith becomes real. Not when you hear everything, but when you hear nothing and still believe something's coming. When it's quiet, that's when the process is doing its deepest work. Noise distracts. Silence develops. You don't grow roots in chaos, you grow roots in stillness. Trees don't shake while they're growing underground. They anchor, they deepen. You are not stuck, you are anchoring. You are becoming unshakable for the next level. Faith ain't faith if you need a sign every 5 minutes. Faith is believing even when you can't see the fruit. Even when you are watering the soil and nothing's breaking through. That's the test. Can you keep showing up when there's no applause? Can you keep building when no one's validating you? That's the kind of faith God honors. People think God always speaks loudly, but he often works in whispers. And sometimes he says nothing because he's already said enough. He gave you the promise, now he's giving you the silence to see what you'll do with it. Will you quit or will you stand? Will you fold or will you trust? The silence is your proven ground. You are not forgotten the quiet. You are being focused. Noise isn't always confirmation, and silence isn't always punishment. Sometimes God pulls everything back just to see if you'll still lean on him, not your plan, not your network, not your momentum, just him. When you pass that test, he releases what's next. The enemy loves to creep into the quiet. He tells you you are being ignored, that you must have done something wrong, that God left you. But silence isn't absence, it's a strategy. It's where God teaches you how to hear him without distractions. How to move with conviction, not convenience. How to obey without explanation. So if you are in that quiet space right now, don't panic. Don't jump ship. Keep planting. Keep believing. The soil is still working. The process is still producing. God's still moving even in silence. You keep coming to God with the blueprint, hoping he signs off on it. You have got it all mapped out, step 1, step 2, step 3. But he keeps rewriting the script. And that frustrates you because deep down you are not trusting him, you are trying to manage him. You don't want to surrender. You want control dressed up as faith. But faith doesn't work that way. Faith is trust without a tracking number. Faith is moving even when the map doesn't make sense. You are looking for confirmation before obedience, but God is asking for obedience before confirmation. He doesn't need you to understand every move. He needs you to trust that every move has purpose. When you make your plans and they fall apart, it's not failure, it's redirection. It's God saying, your way was cute, but my way is necessary. You can either cry over what didn't go your way, or you can commit to what God's way is becoming. Because the truth is, your vision is too small for the kind of destiny he's building. You don't see all the variables. You don't know what lies ahead, but he does. He sees the detours you'll need, the strength you'll need, the healing you'll need. That's why he doesn't follow your timeline. He doesn't follow your logic. He moves by perfect knowledge and unstoppable love. Even when it doesn't feel good, it's working for your good. The faster you surrender the need to control, the faster peace shows up. You were never meant to carry the burden of figuring everything out. That pressure you feel is not faith, it's fear in disguise. Let it go. Let God interrupt your plan with something bigger, better, and bolder than you imagine. You keep praying for clarity, but God is waiting on your commitment. He's waiting for you to say, even if I don't get it, I'm going. Even if it doesn't make sense, I'll move. Even if I can't see the whole staircase, I'll take the first step. That kind of trust unlocks doors no plan ever could. So stop handing God your instructions and start handing him your heart. He doesn't need your strategy, he needs your surrender. He's not asking you to predict the future. He's asking you to walk with him into it. You saw the opportunity. You felt the excitement. You thought it was the one. Then suddenly the door slammed and your heart dropped. You thought, God, why would you let me get that close just to shut it down? But closed doors don't mean God is against you. Most times it means he's ahead of you, protecting you from what you couldn't see coming. Some doors look perfect on the outside, but they held pain on the inside. If God had let you walk through it, you would have spent years cleaning up what he tried to block. You call it rejection. God calls it rescue. Us, you call it loss. He calls it leading. That closed door wasn't punishment, it was protection with purpose. Sometimes God blocks it because the time is wrong. Other times he blocks it because the thing itself is wrong. You thought you were ready. You thought it was aligned. But God saw the character behind the curtain. He saw the weakness behind the opportunity. He saw the destruction wrapped in temptation. So he shut it before you got stuck in it. And yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's confusing. But would you rather have temporary confusion or a lifetime of regret? Would you rather feel the sting of a no now or carry the weight of a bad decision for years? God's love shows up in his no just as much as it does in his yes. His silence and his redirection are forms of grace too. Every closed door is God saying, not this way. It's not a dead end, it's a divine detour. And you don't have to understand it right away to trust that it's better this way. You don't need all the answers to walk in obedience. Some of your greatest breakthroughs come after your biggest disappointments. The closed door makes you seek him deeper. It humbles you. It sharpens your ears to his voice. It breaks your addiction to results and brings you back to the relationship. It reminds you that your calling is not tied to your convenience. It's tied to his wisdom. And sometimes wisdom looks like redirection. If the door didn't open, let it go. Don't camp outside of no waiting for it to turn into a yes. If God closed it, he's got a reason. And what's ahead of you will make sense of what didn't happen behind you. You want it now, but if you got it now, you wouldn't be able to handle it. You want the blessing, but you don't want the buildup. And that's the problem. People want the reward, not the rhythm. But the delay is what builds your discipline. The waiting season is not wasted, it's working your muscles. Discipline is the ability to stay consistent without applause, to keep going without recognition, to stick to the vision when results are invisible. And God allows delay because he wants to grow that part of you. That part that doesn't depend on hype to stay faithful. That part that keeps showing up even when it's hard. You are learning to pray when it's quiet, to work when it's slow, to trust when it's dark. That's discipline. That's what separates people who visit their purpose from people who live in it. Anybody can start when it's easy, but who can stay committed when it's hard? Who can keep building when the crowd walks away? The delay creates habits, and habits create momentum. You are not waiting just to wait, you are developing a lifestyle, a mindset. A routine that can hold the blessing when it shows up. Because when the door finally opens, you won't have time to prepare, you'll have to be ready. Discipline guarantees readiness. God is not just preparing the blessing for you, he's preparing you for the blessing. And that preparation is not passive, it's active. You are being stretched, molded, and challenged. You are learning patience and power at the same time. You are becoming durable, not just emotional, not just excited, stable. Without discipline, you'll drop what God delivers. Without discipline, you'll waste what he worked so hard to build for you. That's why the delay keeps you accountable. It strips you of laziness. It exposes your excuses. And it trains you for something greater than you imagine. So stop fighting the delay. Embrace it. Let it train you. Let it build you. Let it make you sharp. Because once the opportunity arrives, you'll either rise because of your discipline or fall because of your lack of it. It's easy to trust when everything's going right. When the bank account is full, the calls are coming in, and the plans are unfolding perfectly, anybody can have faith. But that's not real trust. Real trust is built in the fog. It's revealed when you have no clue what's next, but you still move like you know God's got you. You want proof before the step, but God says, take the step, then I'll show you. He doesn't operate on your logic, he operates on your trust. And trust ain't comfortable. Trust doesn't always make sense. Trust looks like walking on water in the middle of a storm, simply because he said, come. The wilderness is part of the journey. It's not the enemy's territory, it's God's training ground. It's where he takes you to remove the clutter, quiet the noise, and show you that he's all you need. If you can trust him when it's dark, you'll be unstoppable when the light returns, because you won't be walking by what you see, you'll be walking by who you know. You've got to get to a place where peace doesn't come from your surroundings, it comes from your source. The storm doesn't shake you because your anchor is deeper than the waves. You don't panic when things shift because you know who's steering the ship. That's what trust looks like, not control, but confidence, not fear, but faith. Uncertainty reveals your foundation. It shows whether you have been building on hype or him. And if you have been building on him, then no storm, no delay, no confusion can take you out. You may bend, but you won't break. You may pause, but you won't quit. Because trust knows the difference between being unsure and being unsafe. If things don't make sense right now, don't try to fix the fog, just follow the voice. If you can't see the next 10 steps, take the one you can. Trust is a muscle, and uncertainty is where it grows strong. You want the spotlight, but can you handle the heat? You want the platform, but can you carry the weight? Everybody wants to be seen, but not everybody wants to be shaped. And that's what the struggle does, it shapes you. It prepares you behind the curtain for a stage that's bigger than you imagined. The struggle teaches you how to fight. It teaches you how to pray with power, how to stand your ground, and how to push through resistance. It builds spiritual muscle. And muscle doesn't grow without tension, without the press, without some sleepless nights, silent tears, and those moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. God uses the struggle to strip away what can't go with you to the next level. Pride, laziness, doubt, insecurity, he pulls all of it out in the fight. And while you are asking him to deliver you from it, he's saying, I'm developing you through it. You are not stuck, you are in training. You are not cursed, you are being carved. When the breakthrough finally comes, it won't be the breakthrough that makes you ready. It'll be everything you went through before. It'll be the struggle that taught you how to carry success without being crushed by it. It'll be the rejection that taught you resilience, the loneliness that taught you leadership, the failure that taught you focus. The struggle creates depth. It gives your faith roots, your wisdom weight, and your voice authority. You won't just be somebody who God bless you, you'll be somebody who's been built, and people can feel the difference. They don't need someone who's just shining. They need someone who survived the storm and still came out swinging. When you are on the stage, people won't see the struggle, but they'll feel it in your presence. They'll sense the journey in your strength. They'll hear the fire in your words. You'll walk into rooms and carry peace because you know what it took to stand there. That's why God allowed the pressure so you could carry the promise with power, not panic. So don't resent the struggle. Embrace it. It's not taken from you, it's building you. The fight is the filter. It proves your passion. It separates fantasy from faith. And when the moment finally comes, you'll be ready because the struggle has already trained you for it. You look around and it feels like everyone's passing you. Getting married, getting promoted, starting business, blowing up on social media, and there you are still trying to figure it all out. The enemy whispers you are behind, but that's a lie. You are not behind. You are in alignment with a different assignment. Stop measuring your journey by someone else's milestones. They're not on your path. They're not carrying your calling. Their race has nothing to do with your route. Just because they look ahead doesn't mean you are behind. It just means you have a different pace. And God's plan for your life is not a race, it's a revelation. Alignment is better than acceleration. You can speed ahead and miss what matters. You can chase success and end up empty. But when you are in alignment with God, everything flows in due time. No forcing, no faking, just divine favor showing up right on schedule. And that's a life worth living. Sometimes God slows you down to set you apart, to pull you out of the noise, to protect your identity from becoming a performance. Because if you build too fast, you start depending on momentum instead of maturity. But when you are aligned, you don't panic, you trust the pace, even when it's slower than you want it. Your calling isn't late, it's layered. And every season has a role. The silent seasons teach you how to hear. The waiting seasons teach you how to walk. The wilderness seasons teach you how to worship without needing results. All of it is alignment. All of it is preparation. Nothing is wasted when you are walking with God. You have got to stop letting timelines rob you of your trust. Stop letting culture convince you. You are missing out. You are not missing out. You are being molded. You are not overlooked. You are being overhauled. And when God aligns you, what's for you will find you without force or fear. So breathe. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you are called to be. It's easy to confuse delay with denial when emotions get loud and time feels like it's running out. You prayed, you believed, you even fasted, and yet it still hasn't come. That's when the doubts creep in. That's when the enemy starts whispering, maybe God said no, but delay isn't denial. It's development. It's divine pacing for a destiny you are still being prepared to carry. The longer it takes, the more you assume something's wrong. But what if nothing's wrong at all? What if it's just not time yet? What if God is still arranging the details, still softening the hearts involved, still protecting you from getting what you want before you are ready to sustain it? Just because it's not now doesn't mean it's never. you have got to trust the delay is intentional. Sometimes the delay is there to test your posture. Are you only faithful when it's fast? Can you still praise when it's paused? Are you worshiping for the promise, or are you walking with the one who gave the promise? God doesn't want to just bless you. He wants to anchor you. He's not in a rush. He's in the refining business. When God delays something, he's not punishing you. He's perfecting you. He's cleaning out the motives, strengthening your backbone, pulling your dependency off of things and onto him. Because if he gives it too early, it could ruin you. And if he gives it too easily, you won't value it. Delay creates appreciation. Delay creates maturity. Delay sets you up to handle it right when it shows up. You have to resist the urge to rush what's sacred. Destiny is not microwaved. It's marinated. It takes time. You don't want to get to a place before your character can hold it. You don't want a door to open before your habits are healthy. That's why he waits not to hurt you, but to honor the weight of your calling. The enemy wants you to mistake silence for absence. He wants you to give up right before it breaks. But the blessing doesn't arrive on your timeline, it arrives on God's. And his timeline isn't moved by pressure. It's moved by purpose. And every second he waits is packed with meaning, even if you can't see it yet. So when it's quiet, stay faithful. When it's still, stay grounded. When it's slow, stay focused. Because the delay isn't a stop sign, it's a setup. You think you messed up too badly for God to fix it. You think one wrong turn disqualified the whole route. But you forgot he already knew about every stumble before you ever took a step. And still, he said, I've ordered your steps. Not just your victories. Not just your highlight reel. He ordered your detours too. God doesn't toss out your future because you took the wrong path. He recalculates it. Like GPS, you made a turn you shouldn't have. He just reroutes. He doesn't cancel the destination. He gets you back on track. You are harder on yourself than he is. You hold shame. He offers a strategy. You sit in guilt. He speaks grace. Every stumble taught you something. Every failure had a fingerprint of wisdom in it. You didn't lose time, you gained depth. You didn't get off track, you discovered what wasn't meant for you. Stop calling it wasted when God is using it to build your wisdom. Every misstep still moves you closer if you are willing to learn from it. You think God only works through perfection, but he's been using imperfect people since the beginning of time. He's not waiting for you to get it all right. He's waiting for you to keep walking. He'll guide your feet even when they feel unsure. He'll correct your course even when you don't know you need correcting. The stumble humbled you. That's the gift. It reminded you that you are not your results. It pulled you out of pride. It showed you how desperately you need grace. And that awareness, that's fuel, that's power. That's what keeps you grounded when success finally comes. Because the ones who stumble tend to walk softer when they rise again. Your stumble didn't break the plan, it became part of it. That's the kind of God you serve. One who takes broken pieces and builds something better than if nothing had ever cracked. You don't have to hide your past. You don't have to fake your perfection. He's writing the story, and the power is in the comeback, not the clean record. So stop disqualifying yourself. The steps are still ordered. The path is still on. The stumble didn't stop the calling, it strengthened it. Some days you are not going to feel strong. You are going to feel drained, worn down, disappointed. And everything in you is going to scream, just stop. But that's exactly when faith has to kick in. Faith doesn't always feel good, it just keeps moving. Faith doesn't need energy to be real. It just needs endurance. You don't have to feel powerful to be powerful. You just have to keep showing up. You don't need a shout every morning, you just need obedience. That quiet, consistent yes in your spirit is stronger than any hype. Because faith isn't built in the mountaintop moments. It's built in the moments when you are dragging yourself forward, one tired step at a time. When you are tired, rest but don't quit. Lay down but don't turn back. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is keep breathing. Keep believing. Keep praying even when the answers don't come. Keep trusting even when your emotions are all over the place. That's not weakness, that's faith under fire. God sees your effort. He sees you pushing through when it feels like nothing's changing. And he honors that. He rewards that. The tired prayers, the tears that fall in silence. The faith that keeps showing up to the fight even after taking blow after blow. That's what champions are made of. Not perfection, but persistence. Your feelings are not the final word. They're real, but they're not the truth. The truth is you are covered. The truth is you are equipped. The truth is you have made it through worse. And if you got this far, it means there's more ahead for you. Tired doesn't mean done. Exhausted doesn't mean empty. You still have something left. Don't wait to feel strong to take the next step. Sometimes strength shows up after the step, not before. You take the step tired, and suddenly grace shows up. You speak the word discouraged, and suddenly peace enters. That's how faith works. It opens the door before the feelings catch up. Pain without purpose is just suffering, but pain in God's hands becomes strategy. It becomes shaping. It becomes preparation. You didn't cry for nothing. You didn't break for no reason. That pain has a reason, and even if you don't understand it right now, God is using it to chisel something stronger out of you. Pain exposes what comfort covers. It reveals what you believe. When everything is smooth, it's easy to talk faith. But when life hits you hard, when people walk away, when the doctor says something you didn't expect, that's when faith is no longer a quote. It's your lifeline. Pain pushes you to depend on something deeper than yourself. God never wastes pain. Every tear you cry, water to see. Every disappointment taught you to let go. Every heartbreak broke pride before it could grow. The pain didn't come to destroy you, it came to develop you. It came to strip off what doesn't belong, to pull you closer to the only one who can carry your whole weight. You didn't just survive that thing, you grew through it. You got stronger. You learned boundaries. You learned how to pray like your life depended on it. You found your voice. You found your fight. And that came through pain, not through ease. That came in the fire, not in the sunshine. That came in the nights, not just in the good days. You thought it was punishment, but it was positioning. You thought it was rejection, but it was redirection. God was using pain as a compass, moving you out of places that couldn't hold your destiny. And now that you have been through it, you don't walk the same. You don't settle the same. You don't talk the same. That's the power of pain with purpose. Sometimes pain is how God gets your attention. Not because he wants to hurt you, but because he wants to grow you. The comfort zone doesn't birth greatness. And as much as we resist the pain, it's the very thing that sharpens the vision, toughens spirit, and wakes up the warrior inside of you. You don't have to love the pain, but you have got to trust that it's not random. You have got to trust that it's not meaningless. When it's surrendered to God, pain becomes part of the plan. And what once broke you becomes the very story that builds someone else. Seasons don't last forever, but every season leaves something behind. And if you don't learn from it, you'll keep repeating it. That dry season, that slow season, that quiet season, they all carry lessons. If you are willing to look beyond the discomfort and ask, what is this here to teach me? The problem is we fight the season instead of flowing with it. We want summer blessings and winter trials. We want to harvest in a planting season. But God doesn't rush his rhythm. He works in seasons because growth takes time. Character takes time. Wisdom takes time. You've got to recognize the season you are in so you can maximize what it's meant to give you. There's a season to grind and a season to grow. A season to fight and a season to rest. A season to be seen and a season to be hidden. And the hiding season isn't punishment, it's preservation. God hides you when he's building you. He keeps you covered so the world doesn't put pressure on a version of you that's not ready yet. You have got to stop trying to skip steps. Stop trying to fast forward through the foundation. The deeper the roots, the taller the tree. So if he's keeping you low for a while, it means he's setting you up to rise without tipping over. The season may feel slow, but it's not stagnant. Things are moving underground where no one can see. Just because you are not blooming doesn't mean you are not growing. Just because it's not visible doesn't mean it's not valuable. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will come from seasons where you felt like nothing was happening at all. That's how God works. He builds in silence and reveals in power. You don't have to like the season, but you have got to respect it. You have got to mine the lesson out of it. You have got to ask God, what are you showing me here? What needs to shift in me? Because when you honor the season, you accelerate the outcome. You don't rush the process, you rise through it. And the beauty of God's seasons is that they never end without producing something. Even if it looks barren, he's bringing something out of it. Nothing is wasted, not one moment, not one tear, not one delay. Every season has a reason. If God said it, he's going to do it. Period. It might not happen how you expect it, and it definitely won't happen when you want it, but it will happen. Heaven doesn't run a hype. It runs on his word. And God doesn't make empty promises. What he speaks, he sustains. What he promises, he performs. The problem is you are trying to track his promise by your timeline. You think because it's been a year or 5 or 10, the promise expired. But promises from God don't have an expiration date. They have an appointed time. And when that time comes, nothing can stop it. Not opposition, not delay, not even your doubt. Promises are hanging over your life right now that are bigger than anything you have seen. But big promises take big preparation. God will never give you a promise that your character can't hold. That's why the weight is stretching you. That's why the silence is sharpening you. He's getting you ready for the weight of what's coming.